ignoring what he's done in the past, blindly, stupidly disregarding the entire graveyards he's filled, the thousands who have suffered, the friends he's crippled. You know, I thought I'd be the last person you'd ever let him hurt.
You ever think about Batman, like, not the billionaire vigilante in a cool suit flying around the city in his Batmobile, but the man himself, Bruce Wayne? Because here's the thing, the more I think about it, the more it feels like Batman isn't the hero of Gotham. No, he's actually the true criminal of Gotham. Alright, hear me out. I know that sounds like heresy, like, Batman? A criminal?
This is crazy.
That's beside the point. Just keep it going.
That's like saying Santa Claus is actually a thief who steals cookies, but...
Who are you? What are you doing?
You want some?
Let's just take a minute and break this down, okay? Because the guy's not just breaking bones and putting villains in Arkham. He's actually breaking people in a way that's, well, a lot more sinister. So let's start with the Bat family, specifically the Robins. The way Batman recruits these young, vulnerable kids, it's almost like a cult leader gathering disciples. Think about it. You've got Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Damian Wayne. Not this guy. I mean, each one of them is like this lost boy, someone who's got no real direction, someone who's hurting or lost a family, or is just in a really dark place.
Please, sir. I want some more.
And Batman, he's swooping in like, hey kid, you want to dress up in tights and beat the crap out of some goons?
Time to retreat.
I'm no coward.
Don't be stupid.
Let's be honest here, Batman's got this weird thing for taking in these orphans and runaways, right? He's giving them a home, a purpose.
Yes, Kitty. As I was saying to the Duchess only yesterday. Oh, how clumsy of me. Oh, my.
Does the hurt ever go away?
I wish I could say yes. But it will get better in time. For you. That I promise.
You deceived me.
But he's also taking these impressionable minds and turning them into soldiers.
I make the rules.
It's like he's creating his own private army of little Batmen. And that's where things start to get a little messed up. Let's take Jason Todd, for example, the second Robin. Now, Jason's this scrappy kid, right? A kid from the wrong side of the tracks trying to make it in a city that would rather see him dead. Batman finds him trying to steal the tires off the Batmobile. Pretty bold move, if you ask me, and he thinks, yeah, this kid's got spirit, he's got potential. So he brings Jason under his wing, teaches him everything he knows. Let's just stop there a moment. Imagine someone trying to steal your car, and you say, literally, not making this up, you say, you must have some type of talent, kid. Potential. Come stay with me. You seem lost, desperate, emotionally shattered to pieces. I mean, or something close to that. I know Batman doesn't have friends, but really, some stranger danger should kick in for Gotham after a few of Bruce Wayne's kids start to disappear over the years. That has to give you the Silent of the Lambs vibe.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
Am I right?
I wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
But the thing is, Jason's not Bruce.
I've got him. Robin!
I had to take him down.
You shattered his collarbone.
He's a drug-dealing pimp. I didn't think I had to prop up some pillows before I took him out.
He's not emotionally dead inside, at least not initially. He's got fire, rage, he's impulsive, he wants justice, sure, but he also wants revenge. And what does Batman do? He doesn't temper that. He doesn't help Jason work through his trauma, he just puts a mask on him and sends him out to fight psychos like the Joker. And we all know how that ended. Yeah, the infamous A Death in the Family storyline. Jason Todd gets beaten to death with a crowbar by the Joker. Literally a crowbar.
Now that was rude. The first boy blunder had some manners. I suppose I'm going to have to teach you a lesson so you can better follow in his footsteps. Nah, I'm just gonna keep beating you with this crowbar.
And where's Batman? Off fighting some other bad guy. He couldn't even save the kid he brought into this life of crime. Like, what kind of mentorship is that? Let's go deeper into this, into Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Man, that movie, it's like a psychological horror show disguised as a cartoon. Remember the scene where we find out what happened to Tim Drake, the third Robin? Turns out, Joker kidnapped him and tortured him for weeks. Physically and mentally tortured him, rewired his brain, and yeah, Batman finds him, but it's too late. The kid's already been twisted into a smaller version of Joker. They find him in this old, abandoned Arkham, cowering in the corner, shaking and laughing like a maniac. Joker's turned him into this thing. And Batman's response? He puts Tim in a mental hospital for years.
The serums and the shocks took their toll, and the dear lad began to share such secrets with me.
And let's talk about Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl. She's different, sure. More of a volunteer than the rest.
Well, I had some really interesting nightmares.
But the moment she gets paralyzed by the Joker and the Killing Joke, Batman just moves on to the next kid. The next person who's desperate enough or damaged enough to put on the suit and follow him into the night. It's almost like he's got this conveyor belt of sidekicks, each one just another broken toy that he's trying to fix in his own messed up way. Very messed up. See, Batman doesn't actually want to fix Gotham. Not really. I mean, think about it. If Gotham was ever truly fixed, if crime was ever actually defeated, what's left for Batman? Who is Bruce Wayne if he's not Batman?
I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy.
The guy's got issues, man. He's obsessed with control, obsessed with the idea of justice in a city that's beyond saving. So he perpetuates this cycle. He keeps bringing in new Robins, new allies, new soldiers for his war, because the war can't end, not him. No way. Let's talk about Damian Wayne for a second. Bruce's biological son with Talia al Ghul. This kid was literally raised by assassins, trained from birth to be a killer. And Batman's like, great, another Robin. I mean, come on, the kid is like 12 years old and already knows 37 ways to kill a man with a butter knife. Instead of letting him be a kid, Bruce drags him into his crusade, turning him into a mini Batman. You know, molding him into yet another weapon in his endless war on crime. And that's the thing, right? Batman takes these young, impressionable kids, and he doesn't give them the help they need. He doesn't give them therapy or, I don't know, a chance to just be kids. No, he weaponizes their trauma.
I don't have time for this. Now get out of my way before...
Before what?
He trains them, indoctrinates them into his war, and then throws them out into the night to fight his battles, his wars, his trauma with himself, yeah, definitely with himself. And how do you win that battle? These kids are set up for failure.
You're not well, Mr. Wayne. You need professional help. Liar!
And then there's the Joker. Oh man, the Joker. He's like this mirror, right? He's the chaos to Batman's order, the unpredictable lunatic to Batman's methodical detective. But the thing is, the Joker would not exist without Batman. I mean, there are entire comics dedicated to this concept. The Killing Joke, The Dark Knight Returns, even the Arkham Asylum games. The Joker needs Batman, sure, but in a twisted way, Batman needs the Joker too. It's like this symbiotic relationship, this codependent dance of death. Remember that scene in The Dark Knight where Joker says,
No, you complete me.
As creepy as that sounds, he's not wrong. Batman needs someone to fight, someone to focus all his trauma and rage onto. If Gotham were peaceful, if crime were gone, Batman would have to face his own demons, and that's something he's just not equipped to do. Far from it, miles away from the possibility. I mean, that is kind of a coward move when you think about it, sending kids to fight your wars. Even Alfred, Bruce's trusty butler and pseudo-father figure, says it best in The Dark Knight Rises.
I am using the truth, Master Wayne. Maybe it's time we all stop trying to outsmart the truth and let it have its day. I'm sorry.
You're sorry. You expect to destroy my world.
And that's the crux of it. Batman's war on crime, it's not about justice, it's about avoidance. It's about keeping himself so busy that he doesn't have to think about what he's lost or what he's done to those who follow him. Let's not forget the psychological damage Batman himself causes. Remember Batman under the Red Hood? Jason Todd comes back from the dead, but he's no longer the Robin who just wanted to help people. He's the Red Hood now.
Yeah, like yelling at the guy who's holding the AK-47. Listen to me, you drug-peddling scumbags. I will be running the drug trade from now on. You go about your business as usual, but
a broken man who kills criminals because Batman taught him that justice is worth any cost. And what does Batman do? He tries to save him, but save him from what? From the monster that Batman helped create in the first place? Batman takes these kids who are already hurting, already dealing with their own demons, and he drags them deeper into his own personal darkness. It's like he's recreating his own trauma over and over again. He's like, oh, you lost your parents too? Great, join me and I'll make sure you lose everything else too. Your sanity, your innocence, your chance at a normal life. And I know Batman's supposed to be the hero. He's supposed to be saving Gotham. But what if he's just perpetuating the cycle? What if every time he puts on that mask, every time he brings another kid into his crusade, he's actually making things worse? What if he's not the cure, but the disease? Look, I'm not saying Batman should hang up the cape and go become a barista in Seattle or something. Wait, what if Batman messed up your order and blamed you for it? And get this, and you told his manager. Gutsy move, of course, I mean, what would he do?
I'm vengeance.
But maybe it's time we stop treating Batman like he's this untouchable beacon of justice, because at the end of the day, he's a man, a deeply flawed, traumatized man who's projecting his own issues onto an entire city. Maybe Gotham would be better off if Bruce Wayne had just, I don't know, funded some community centers or...
I actually know Batman.
Okay, well, can you tell him to cool it down in our neighborhoods?
Cool it down? What do you mean?
Somebody's got to do something about him. I mean, he broke my best friend's jaw in 2 places and all he did was steal a TV. That's excessive.
All right, let's dig into that brutal scene from Injustice where Damian Wayne, Batman's own son, straight up murders Nightwing. Damian takes a metal baton, a weapon designed to shatter bones, and hurls it with all his strength right at Nightwing's head. It strikes with a sickening crack.
Hey! Robin doesn't punch people after they go fetal. You're not Robin, so shut up!
And Nightwing drops dead on the spot. And Damian, he barely flinches, stands there cold, maybe even indifferent, as if he knew exactly what he was doing, or worse, like he didn't care. But let's not pretend this is just Damian's fault. No, this is on Batman, the man who takes broken, angry boys who have lost everything, boys who need love and guidance, and turns them into living weapons for his war on crime. Batman thought he could redeem Damian, make him a hero, but all he did was feed his anger, sharpen his instincts for violence. And when Damian kills Nightwing, what does Batman say?
I thought I could redeem you. I was wrong.
Yeah, Bruce, you were wrong. You took a kid raised by assassins and put him on a path to becoming a killer. But here's the kicker. After Damian murders Nightwing in cold blood, does Batman turn him in? Does he do what he would do if it were anyone else? No, he gives Damian a stern look and a few harsh words. Think about it. Batman breaks the jaws and legs of poor guys on the street for stealing or petty crime, but his own son kills someone and he gets a pass, a lecture. What a hypocrite. He'll lock up strangers in Arkham without a second thought, but Damian gets a second chance. And here's the truth. Batman's own hands are stained just as much. He doesn't just fail to punish Damian, he protects him. I mean, how can Batman claim to be a force of justice when he's bending the rules for his own blood? I can't help but think if Batman's crusade was ever really about justice, then he would have put those cuffs on his own son. But he doesn't. He can't. Because in his twisted heart, maybe he knows. He's the one who put the baton in Damian's hand in the first place. Alright, let's talk about one of the most chilling moments in Batman's career. The time he left KG Beast to die slowly in a dark, sealed room. This isn't the quick brutality of a punch or the swift snap of a bone. No, Batman locked the door, turned his back, and walked away, knowing exactly what he was condemning KG Beast to. Imagine it, trapped in a small, cold space, the air growing stale, the only sound your own breath as it becomes more ragged, more desperate. Now, think about what comes next. Dehydration hits fast. Within just hours, the body starts to realize it's missing something vital. Your mouth dries out first. Your tongue thickens like a sponge left in the sun too long. You begin to sweat, not because you're hot, but because your body is panicking, trying to regulate your failing system. Muscles start to cramp, tiny fissures form in your skin, lips crack, and the pain is like salt on raw flesh. And then there's starvation. At first it's just hunger pains, a gnawing sensation in the gut. But then your body starts to eat itself to survive. Muscles shrink, skin tightens over bone, and the stomach feels like it's being twisted inside out, wringing every drop of energy it can. Organs begin to fail, your vision blurs, your heartbeat slows, brain cells start to die off one by one. The body knows it's dying and makes sure you feel every agonizing second of it. This is what Batman chose, to leave a man to die like this, to make the conscious decision to walk away and let him endure days of unimaginable suffering. That's not justice, it's cruelty dressed in a cape and cowl. A line Batman crossed, leaving him not as Gotham's savior, but as a villain of the darkest order. Whatever happened to the I don't kill rule, the I don't want anyone, kid or family, to feel the pain that he felt. I guess that all went away, yeah, somehow. Poof, gone. Or was it just convenient? I mean, if anyone deserved that type of ending, would be Joker, no question about it. Maybe even worse the more I think about it. Maybe it's time to see Batman for who he really is. Not the Dark Knight, but the lost boy who never grew up, fighting shadows that he will never truly defeat. And you know what? Maybe that makes him the most dangerous villain of all. Alright, let's take a stroll down the darker alleys of Gotham where shadows twist into nightmares and nothing is quite what it seems. Imagine for a moment that Bruce Wayne, the billionaire playboy who moonlights as Batman,
Mommy! Daddy! No!
isn't really the Dark Knight. Imagine he's not swooping through the city, dispensing justice one broken jaw at a time. What if instead Bruce Wayne is just a deeply disturbed patient in Arkham Asylum, and everything we've ever known about Gotham is just a figment of his fractured imagination? Now stay with me here, because this theory might just make more sense than the one we've all been fed for decades. Let's start with the basics. Bruce Wayne is a billionaire, right? But let's be real for a second. How many billionaires do you know who wander around at night in a bat costume, punching people in the face? Exactly. None. I mean, punching someone, that's just business. But a backhand slap?
It's personal.
That's Batman saying, "You're not even worth a proper punch, you absolute
clown!"
It's like Batman signed up for an improv class just to learn how to disrespect someone more creatively. That's an art form right there.
You see? It is all in the wrist.
Despite all the off-the-wall theories, we have to take a moment to just let that slap. I mean, he went Rick James on Joker.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap!
Alright. Let's get back to the Batman heresy and the oh no, not Batman. Yeah, same Batman. Unless you know of another Batman, then excuse me. Being a billionaire means layers of security, bodyguards at every corner, a fortress of solitude, not to mention paparazzi tracking your every move. The odds of someone like Bruce Wayne living this double life are about as slim as finding a needle in a haystack the size of Gotham. And what's more, think about his parents. The Waynes were among the wealthiest families in the world. Would they really have been walking around Gotham without a security detail? No way. They would have had bodyguards, armored cars, the works. The fact that they didn't, that they were gunned down in a grimy alley, already feels like a hole in the story. almost as if it never really happened. So what if Bruce Wayne isn't a billionaire vigilante? What if he's a patient in Arkham Asylum, lost in the corridors of his own mind, where every villain, every hero, every twisted plot line is just another manifestation of his broken psyche? Let's break down the key players in Gotham, and you might start seeing them for what they truly are, pieces of Bruce, each representing a different part of his humanity, a different shade of his madness. The Joker, the clown prince of crime, Batman's greatest foe. But what if the Joker isn't real? What if he's the embodiment of Bruce's dark sense of humor, his inner chaos? The Joker is all about breaking the rules, turning order into disorder, laughing in the face of death. Bruce, deep down, might just be one bad day away from becoming the Joker himself. The laughter, the chaos, the violence, it's all Bruce's subconscious trying to pull him into the madness he fears so much. In The Killing Joke, Joker says,
"That's how far the world is from where I am. Just one bad day. You had a bad day once, am I right? Oh, I know I am. I can tell. You had a bad day and everything changed. Dressing up like a flying rat doesn't hide it, it screams it. You had a bad day and it drove you as crazy as everybody else, only you won't admit it."
Maybe, just maybe, Bruce had that bad day, the day his parents died, and now he's fighting the Joker because he's really fighting himself.
Yes, memory's so treacherous. One moment you're lost in a carnival of delights, childhood aromas, the flashing neon of puberty, all that sentimental candy floss. The next, it takes you somewhere you don't want to be. Somewhere dark and cold, filled with the damp, ambiguous shapes of things you'd rather forget.
Scarecrow, the master of fear, the one who uses terror as a weapon. But what if Scarecrow isn't some twisted villain, but rather the manifestation of Bruce's fear of his psychiatrist? Imagine Bruce sitting in Arkham, his mind twisted, his thoughts dark and swirling, and there's this doctor, calm, probing, trying to unlock the doors to Bruce's mind. Bruce's mind fights back, turning this figure into the Scarecrow, the one who forces him to confront his deepest fears. The fear toxin isn't some chemical, it's therapy, it's introspection, it's the terrifying process of facing the demons locked away inside his own head.
But you're scared of what will happen when I tear that mask from your face. What will we find? Your true identity, or proof that without your mask, you are nothing.
And then there's Robin, loyal, brave, always by Batman's side. But what if Robin isn't real? What if Robin is Bruce's lost childhood, the innocence he can never get back? Robin represents the children Bruce couldn't save, the part of him that's forever trapped in that alley, watching his parents bleed out on the pavement. By imagining Robin, Bruce is trying to hold on to that lost part of himself, the boy who once dreamed of heroes and happy endings. Two-Face is perhaps the most revealing. Harvey Dent was once Bruce's closest friend, a symbol of the hope Bruce had for Gotham. But when Dent became Two-Face, it wasn't just his face that was split, it was Bruce's mind. Two-Face represents Bruce's own fractured psyche, the constant battle between his desire for justice and his darker impulses. The fact that Harvey was once his friend makes it all the more painful, as Bruce can't help but see himself in the man who now flips a coin to decide whether to kill or save. Two-Face is the embodiment of Bruce's internal conflict, the struggle between the hero he wants to be and the villain he fears he might become.
Check his calendar.
What about the kid? Kill him.
No!
But let's not stop there. What about Penguin? The waddling crime lord, the grotesque villain who's always trying to claw his way to the top. Look closer, Penguin, with his deformed body and his desperate need for power, represents Bruce's own feelings of alienation, his sense of being deformed and out of place in society. Bruce may look like the perfect billionaire on the outside, but inside he feels like a monster, an outsider who can never truly belong.
Just the pussy I've been looking for.
It's chilly in here.
I'll warm you.
Down, Oswald.
Penguin is that part of Bruce that feels rejected by the world, the part that's always trying to assert control because he's terrified of being seen for what he really is, something less than human.
Dead guys don't do that!
Then there's Harley Quinn, the tragic sidekick, always at the Joker's side, but always the victim of his cruelty. But what if Harley isn't just another villain? What if she represents the victim inside Bruce, the part of him that's been hurt, abused, twisted by his own mind? The way Joker treats Harley, the manipulation, the abuse, it mirrors how Bruce's mind tortures itself, how he punishes himself for the things he can't control. Harley is the part of Bruce that's trapped in a cycle of abuse, unable to break free, always returning to the pain because it's all she knows. Let's talk about Alfred. Good old Alfred, always there with a cup of tea and a stiff upper lip, the surrogate father figure, the only person who's ever truly cared for Bruce, right?
I failed.
Why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
You still haven't given up on me.
Never.
But what if Alfred is actually the mother and father Bruce never had? A weird, combined parental unit who's always there to clean up after his mess, offer sage advice, and bandage his wounds. Alfred's constant presence could be Bruce's mind trying to compensate for the gaping void left by his parents' murder. Bruce never really had a childhood. His mother and father were gunned down before his eyes. So Alfred steps in, always by his side, forever nurturing, forever nagging, the father who teaches him strength and the mother who soothes his fears. It's like Bruce took the best parts of parental love and turned them into a single, stiff British butler. Talk about efficiency. Then there's Bane, the hulking mass of muscle and venom who exists for one reason, to break Batman. But here's the thing, what if Bane isn't just another muscle-bound villain? What if Bane represents Bruce's secret, desperate yearning to not exist, his subconscious desire to end his own torment? I mean, Bane literally breaks Batman's back, snaps it like a twig. That's Bruce's internal voice saying, enough already, just end it. Bane's very name suggests a curse or a death wish, the embodiment of Bruce's desire to escape his own endless, exhausting battle.
Now what's the next step of your master plan?
Crashing this plane. With no survivors.
Every time Bane shows up, it's like Bruce's subconscious is screaming, just let go, man, let it all collapse under the weight of your own misery. But of course, Bruce keeps coming back for more, because the guy has a death wish that even death is tired of entertaining. And then we've got Clayface, a literal shape-shifting blob of mud who can become anyone, anything. But what if Clayface isn't some random villain? What if Clayface represents Bruce's desperate need to never be his true self, to constantly wear masks, to hide behind personas, to be anyone but Bruce Wayne? Think about it. Batman is the ultimate disguise. Bruce hides behind that mask because facing his real self is too damn painful. Clayface is just that urge to constantly change form, to never settle, to avoid being seen for what he really is. A broken man, haunted by his past, unable to look in the mirror without seeing 1,000 different versions of himself staring back. Bruce doesn't want to be Bruce. He wants to be anyone but. So, every time Clayface appears, it's just Bruce wrestling with his need to keep shifting, keep running, keep hiding from who he really is. And let's be honest, if you could turn into anyone or anything, wouldn't you avoid being yourself too? Especially if yourself means a man who spends his nights dressing like a nocturnal mammal and punching out psychopaths. That's not therapy. That's a midlife crisis that never ends. And finally, Catwoman, the femme fatale, the one who dances on the line between good and evil, always just out of reach. But what if Catwoman isn't real either? What if she represents Bruce's longing for intimacy, for a relationship that he can never have?
No. Let's keep the mystery.
If I don't unmask you, the police will.
You can't deny there's something between us.
Catwoman is seductive, elusive, untrustworthy, just like real human connection is for Bruce. He yearns for it, chases it, but he can never quite catch it. She's a cat after all, independent, sly, never fully tamed, Bruce's fear of intimacy, his inability to trust or let anyone get close, manifests as Catwoman, always in his life but never truly his. So where does that leave us? If Bruce Wayne is really just a patient in Arkham Asylum, then Gotham is nothing more than a twisted dream, a world constructed from the fragments of his shattered mind. Every villain, every ally, every tragedy is just another part of him, playing out in the dark corners of his subconscious. He's not the Dark Knight, the protector of Gotham. He's a man lost in his own madness, fighting battles that exist only in his head. This scene is so awesome that we have to play it through and then do some replays to do some analysis.
It's too hard to cross that line.
No! God almighty, no! It'd be too damned easy. All I've ever wanted to do is kill him. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about subjecting him to every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, and then end him.
I mean, Batman is serious and mean business when he breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera. Just saying. Alright, let's peel back the bat-shaped mask and take a good long look at the madness lurking underneath. In Under the Red Hood, Batman says,
"You don't understand. I don't think you've ever understood."
And right there, you get a glimpse of the sheer depth of his psychosis. He's not speaking to Jason Todd. He's speaking to the audience, to anyone who dares to question the razor-thin line he walks every day.
What, your moral code just won't allow for that? It's too hard to cross that line.
He's not clinging to some higher moral ground. No, it's much darker than that. It's because crossing that line would be too easy, too damn easy. He says,
"All I've ever wanted to do is kill him,"
referring to the Joker. Batman's confessing that every day, every single day, he dreams of taking Joker, the clown prince of chaos, and giving him a taste of every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, like the time Joker carved a smile into a man's face, or when he blew up an entire hospital just to make a point. The Joker who beat Jason Todd to death with a crowbar, breaking him bone by bone, or shot Barbara Gordon in the spine, leaving her paralyzed in a pool of her own blood. Batman imagines repaying every broken life, every shattered soul, imagining the Joker screaming as his own ribs crack under Batman's grip. Not just to stop the madness, but to enjoy it, to feel that sweet, satisfying crunch of vengeance snapping like bones under his gloved fists. Batman is not some unyielding beacon of justice. He's a psychotic on a leash. He knows that once he lets go, once he crosses that line, there's no going back. He admits he wants to kill the Joker. Every day, every minute. It's like a starving animal that's holding back from sinking its teeth into the kill. He's salivating at the thought of it. But what scares him more than the Joker, more than Gotham's endless carousel of criminals, is that deep down, he might actually enjoy it. Who is it? What do you want? Oh, you want me to play devil's advocate and call Batman a complete legend? Try to twist this video into some clickbait nonsense? Nope, not happening. Just kidding. Maybe for a minute. I mean, might as well, right? Considering 25% of my videos are about Batman, and only 3% of you diehards will make it this far anyway. When in Gotham, go bat crazy, I guess. Alright, let's play devil's advocate for a second, because for all the times I've poked fun at Batman's questionable sanity, the guy has done some pretty legendary things. So, let's give credit where it's due. First off, the man literally overcame his own trauma to become Gotham's unofficial therapist. I mean, seriously, Bruce Wayne watched his parents get gunned down in front of him, and instead of, going to therapy like a normal person, he decided to become the therapy for an entire city of lunatics. He basically said, "You're all crazy? Fine, I'll be crazier." Then there's the fact that he's human. No superpowers, no alien DNA, no radioactive spider bite. He's just a guy in a suit, taking on gods and monsters like it's Tuesday. He's gone toe-to-toe with Superman, the walking nuke, and somehow made him blink. He's the dude who says, "Yeah, I've got a contingency plan for literally every superhero I know, just in case they ever snap." Paranoia? Maybe? Genius? Definitely. And let's not forget the Lazarus Pit situation. Batman once fought Ra's al Ghul, who's basically an immortal eco-terrorist with a penchant for resurrection. Most people would take the guy out, maybe give him a one-way trip to jail, not Batman. Instead, he confronts him repeatedly, even rejecting immortality himself, saying, "Nah, I'd rather die mortal and miserable, thanks." Also, this guy is the world's greatest detective. He cracks codes, solves crimes, and works out riddles faster than Google can autocomplete your search for why Batman is insane. But instead of bragging, he just broods about it on rooftops in the rain. So, yeah, for all the snark, Batman's not just a hero, he's the hero. And let's face it, Gotham, without him, just a circus without a ringmaster. If this narrative resonated with you, do support us. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe. Thank you for staying with us to the end. See you in the next video on Plaid Chronicles.